So there are a bunch of first-party Apple applications that come pre-installed on your iPhone, your iPad, and your Mac that I use on a daily basis as part of my daily workflow, from the Notes application to the iMessages, of course, the phone application, Safari, but even things like the Sports app or the Invites app. But there's one application that I didn't think I would actually be using as much as I do, especially with some recent updates, that I wanted to talk about a little bit. So, without further ado, let's talk all things News Plus app and why I think it's a hidden gem of the Apple ecosystem. Let's get into it. Well, hello everyone, let's get right into this video and talk all things news application. If you guys like this wallpaper, it'll be linked down in the description below for you guys to check out. But let's open this up and let's first learn how to navigate the news application. And also, like I said, there is a free version and a paid version as well as a bundled version. We'll touch on all that kind of at the end from a pricing standpoint. But if you are just a free user, this is kind of what you're greeted with. You've got this holistic view of all the different news articles that are on here from different publications, and you can kind of go through these and read them as you see fit. And you can see if they are monikered with the News Plus logo right there, that means it is part of News Plus, but you'll get a little snippet and then obviously it'll ask you to subscribe to it. But this is how you can navigate it, and what I like about the application itself is A, it's beautiful on the iPad, and it's one of the few applications that actually has this kind of toolbar on the top that you can move over and also customize if you want to, which is great to see. So if you long press on here, you can actually grab some of these and maybe move them over into here. So if you use the puzzles and you use a food one a lot, you can add them into this little toolbar right here to make it easier for you to actually use and access it. And again, get this left-hand side out of the way. But if you do want to bring that up again, you can just bring it up this way and it'll disappear from the top over here. So just a little navigation thing, nothing really functionally there, but just to make it easier to navigate. And then on the left hand side, you have everything from your main section. So you have the Today view, News Plus, which of course is part of News Plus, Sports, Puzzles, Food, and then you have Search. You have your library here, you have your special coverage, and then you have all your sports, because again, as you can see, I'm a big sports guy, big Miami sports guy, which you're able to then decide which one of your teams you want to follow. Then you also have some channels and topics, and then you have suggested. So these are all different things that you can add on from different publications to different themes, to different genres, to different subjects, if you do want to add to them. And then you also have your manage down here, so notifications, family sharing, subscription, and then also discover channels. So that's everything just from a layout standpoint that I wanted to share. But overall, what I did want to show off is obviously the way that you view this is really, really nice, and it's a beautiful way to actually get into this. So for instance, if I want to open up, let's pick up one of these articles, we'll click on this one, and you can see that it's a beautiful view right here. And again, you can individually subscribe to different publications if you want to. For example, Bloomberg, you're able to do that. You can see that's $34.99 after a free month trial, which for me is wildly overpriced for a publication, but hey, to each their own. And then you also have the ability to subscribe directly from here and also read whatever is given to you right here to a certain extent. This is probably just one article that they're sharing for free through the News Plus application or the News app to get you to get or entice to read a little bit more. And then you have some suggested ones down here. So if I tap on here, this is another article. And then when you navigate each individual article, on the left-hand side, you can thumbs up or thumbs down it, which helps from a curation standpoint. So if you enjoyed reading this and you thumbs up it, it'll give you some things that are similar, either from a subject matter standpoint or from the publication as well. You have the ability to change the font up here, so you can make the font bigger if you want to, or smaller. So if you scroll down here to really get a view of that, you can see I go here, it does make it smaller and bigger, and you can keep going bigger and bigger actually by tapping into it. And the more you tap it, the bigger it's going to get. And it'll get a limit right there, but you can see how much bigger it's gotten. And then to make it smaller, of course, you go here and just make it smaller to whatever you see fit. You can also bookmark this article. You can share it up here if you want to. And then you have your ellipses right here to copy the link, go to the channel, follow the channel, block the channel, or manage the notifications, as well as report a concern. So that is the anatomy of an article. Very easy to read, very self-explanatory, very malleable if you need it to be, and then also sharing it and managing it is very easy. But now what I really enjoy about this is once we go into the News Plus application, which is $12.99 on its own, and we'll break down the pricing at the very end like I mentioned, but this is going to be the News Plus dashboard. So you're able to see the best of News Plus, the My Magazines that you have saved. You can download individual ones, so if you're going to go on a flight or if you're going to be in a situation where there is no service, similar to Apple TV or YouTube Premium, you're able to download them offline if you want to. You have your newspapers, and then you have your different catalogs, which gives you the real life view of what each of these magazines or each of these publications or articles are going to look like, which I think is cool. So if you tap on here, you can tap into each one, read through it if you want to, tap into it, and then get all the information that you would want, because this is basically a PDF of that Nat Geo article that we mentioned earlier when Pope Francis unfortunately passed away. And I love how nicely it is all organized, as you can see up here, based on issues. You can go health, animals, environment, history and culture, science, travel, and that's just for Nat Geo. And each one of these has their own product categories as well. So Time Magazine, then you have People Magazine if you're into it, which again, you can subscribe to it if you want to, and you get all the articles right here. And it's really cool because again, they look and feel like real magazines that you would pick up at the airport to pass some time or, read at the dentist or whatever the case may be. You also have your sections down here. So if you want a better view of all the sections, it shows up here, and everything kind of moves around depending on which article you're looking at, which publication, and that's what the ongoing theme is going to be. And then if you continue down here, this sports section, I used to use it a lot, but now I use it a little bit less because there is a dedicated sports application. But if you want news stories, because the sports application is more for real-time information, real-time scores, if you want real stories, this is where you're going to get all the stories when it comes from a sports situation. So you have The Athletic, USA Today, and what I like about it is if I scroll down, of course these are the top stories and headlines of all sports holistically, but if you scroll down here, you also have some highlights that you can go through, especially team highlights, because again, I'm a Marlins fan, so all the Marlins highlights show up here. Then you have the For You section, which is going to be related to the teams or the league. So for instance, I have the NFL saved as a league and the NHL saved as a league, so it shows articles from those. And then lastly, you do have individual stuff when it comes to on the actual teams. So for instance, if I click on the Miami Heat down here, it's going to give me articles and publications related to that. So Dwayne Wade is over here, Pat Riley's over here, and same thing goes with the Miami Dolphins. They go for each individual article, which is something that I wish I had when I was younger, because I used to nerd out when it came to sports news all the time. I would read it and watch it nonstop. So this is something that I absolutely love. And then to continue on, you do have the puzzle section, which is relatively new. So you have your crosswords, your minis, your quartiles, your Sudoku. You are signed into your game center up here automatically, as you saw that. And then you also have leaderboards. So if you tap on here on the top right-hand corner, it'll load up Game Center, it'll load up the leaderboards, especially if you have friends on here. You'll have 14,000 players playing. And I love how you can tap in here and just start to actually play this as if you are playing on a newspaper or on a magazine. So if you do want to play some crossword puzzles, you can definitely do that. And then it saves it on here and continue playing. You have your crosswords down here, your crossword minis, your quartiles, and then of course your Sudoku. And you can see that the UI is beautiful. You get this nice little tutorial as well to walk you through everything. You can skip that, and then everything is just laid out perfectly. And that's why I like News app just a little bit better on the iPad, because it's all using the entire iPad screen, and it's something that not a lot of people are aware that it looks this beautiful on the iPad. Of course, it's going to work exactly the same on the iPhone. I just like how it's all laid out. And then last but not least, the food section, which I think is the biggest one when it comes to food. So you have the food news, which again, just relates to health and fitness and wellness and different articles and publications talking about food essentially. But then you also have the recipe catalog. This has been the newest addition to News Plus. Again, you do have to be a News Plus subscriber in order to access this, and for the puzzles as well as the News Plus, you do have to be a subscriber for that. But I've used this so much, so you can easily look up dinner recipes if you want to, easily look up an easy recipe if you want to, and continue to filter down. And again, the UI is just beautiful. So for instance, if I want to make, some turnip and potato patties, you click on this, you get all the information at a glance. You get the picture of what it should look like, how long it's going to take, how many it's going to yield, what type of food is going to fit in terms of what type of diet. You can read the actual story from the website itself if you want to. You tap back here, and then same thing applies in the story. You can thumbs it up or thumbs it down, share it the same way, go back to the recipe. You have your ingredients down here, you have the directions as well as timers that are predetermined for you. And then when you're ready to cook, you just press cook, and then you get this beautiful view that kind of looks like Apple Music lyrics. And all you have to do is tap on here to set up timers built into here. Scroll down when you're ready. You have all the ingredients bolded, all the timers highlighted so you know what to look for. And I definitely think this is going to be a future UI element for a new piece of hardware called HomePad, which ideally should release this year, but we'll see if that ever ends up happening. And you can continue to go through all these different recipes. So for instance, if I really liked it, I can thumbs it up, but then I can also save it if I want to. Go back, and you can see that it's been saved onto my recently viewed, as well as saved in my recipes down here. So the food section alone for me might be worth the $12.99, to each their own, but if you add that to the other pieces, then of course it's going to work. So now the $1 million or the $12.99 question is, should you or would you subscribe to this, or would I even subscribe to this? So like I said, there are some free kind of features on here. So you have your Today view that still curates some stories for you. That's absolutely free for anybody using an Apple iPhone. And I believe there is a news app for Android also, so do keep that in mind if you are on Android, one of the few people that watch this stuff. But secondly, there is a $12.99 subscription for just purely News Plus. So if you use no other Apple services and all you want to get is News Plus, this can be $12.99 per month, and I do believe there is a 1-month free trial, which I'll link below. And then lastly, you can do it the way I do it, which is going to be bundle it with Apple One Premiere, which brings all the different Apple services for $37.95, including 2 terabytes of iCloud, iCloud Plus, you get Apple TV, Apple Music, you get Apple Arcade, you get News Plus, you get everything under Apple services for $38, which is, again, what I do, and that's why I started to discover News Plus. In the beginning, I probably would not have paid just $12.99 for News Plus, but if I was somebody who was very into reading the news, I like to do my crossword puzzles, I like to use the recipes, then that to me, on my iPad Pro especially, I think it's worth it personally. But let me know if you guys think it's worth it at $12.99 or as part of the $37.95 bundle, which I believe brings the prorated price down to, I believe, $7-ish per month, which to me isn't bad. But let me know in the comment down below what you think. Do you subscribe to News Plus? Do you use News Plus? Let me know. So that will just about do it for this video, everybody. As you saw, the Apple News Plus application is a lot more robust than people think. And yes, some people might think that paying for the news isn't something that a lot of people will find kind of valuable or worth it, but for my personal use cases, all the news seems to be right down the middle and it's unbiased, which I love to see. And then also all the new added features like the new recipe tab or the recipe catalog, as well as kind of the word scramble and kind of like the gaming features of it, is also something that is a welcome feature, especially as somebody who uses Apple One as a monthly service and gets this already as an included service. So again, to each their own if you think it's worth it. There's a free version, there's a paid version, there's a bundled version, so there's a different way that you can kind of skin the cat when it comes to using News Plus. But let me know in the comment down below what you think. Do you use News Plus? How do you use it? Do you use it on a daily basis, weekly basis? Do you read your news on it? Do you use it for recipes like I do? Let me know in the comment down below, and I'm excited to see what you guys think. But if you made it to the end, leave a little dolphin in the comments as well. And if you want to watch more videos like this one, check out one of these videos right here. And until next time, I'm Fernando. Peace, everybody.